Friends, family, fans, we are back, baby. Episode 144, The Time Traveler, for this week's Travelers Championship. And we are speaking none other than Scotty Scheffler as the Time Traveler. Is that man from another universe? Is he from another planet, another dimension? No matter what we do, no matter what we throw at him, top 10 in major after major after major. He's 3 for 3 this year, and he's had his B game at the Masters, his A game at the A- game at the PGA, C+ game this week. Top 10s, baby. Eternal, inevitable, indestructible. Scotty freaking Scheffler, everybody. How was your US Open? It was a bit of a struggle for us. It was difficult to figure out. I mean, the top of the board was a total disaster, but it is what it is. But yeah, let's get into some Travelers Championships. Always, the show's brought to you by Play Profit X. Use code FGDegenerates for 1.5% back up to $200. Saying that a lot cleaner, a lot crisper than I did yesterday on the Fantasy Golf Degenerates show. If you're unaware of what happened on that show, go check it out. I will just say that it was episode 420. They had me and Kenny and Mike, the producer Mike, had a great time doing our thing. All right, Sightsee, what's up, my brother? Good to see you in the chat. The chat needs to fire up a little bit. We're going to get through some Travelers. As always, we're going to share some screenage. We're going to have some all sorts of good vibes. Good vibes over here. We're going to be using all my tools. We've got the DFS filtered on Travelers for the field that's in here. So we can take a look at past ownerships. You can see who's the most owned, how they performed, all that jazz. Patrick Cantlay continually finding himself in the top of the board here with past ownerships. Colin, Scotty, Corey Connor's not in the field, by the way. We got ourselves deep dives for tournament type specific stuff. So here's the best Travelers performances that we've seen. JT Post and Sahith Theegala, both in 2022, finished second. Could have easily won the damn tournament, but you know, such is life. They landed up losing to Xander Schauffele, who gained basically 2 more shots than they did. So that's kind of what you can find over here. Then we're going to be using this for some round by round stuff with the showdown, for first round leader markets, all of that jazz. If you're looking for round by round stuff, you can click on the first round. Here's JJ Spahn's 8.6 strokes gained in the US Open. Incredible stuff. And then we're going to do some betting things over here. You can see who's been playing well at the Travelers, all that jazz. We'll be diving into a couple things and having a good time. So basically what we're looking for this week. What the hell is going on here? This StreamYard, I think I've seen people having issues with it. I just cannot get my face in the screen anymore. There we go. Basically what we're looking for at TPC River Highlands. Wedge play. 125 to 200. 100 to 175. Strokes gained off the tee, short courses. Strokes gained on easy courses. That's what we are looking for at TPC River Highlands. A little bit of recent form, a little bit of course history. Never goes along, never goes astray. But we're going to have a good time kind of figuring out where we want to go over there. Going to get my face back in the mixture and pull up the model, which I have made a copy of. So we're going to just leave that alone, get rid of the OG one. So I'm not messing around in that one as people are having a good time. So here's the Maniac model. Let's zoom in a smidgen. As you can see, we've got the safety rankings, the upside rankings, the upside down rankings, the inside out rankings, all of that stuff. We're going to get rid of the DFS stuff for the first bit of the show while we do the betting. And then we're going to go from there and then into some DFS stuff. And then we might even chat a bit of a Ryder Cup at the end. I fired up my Ryder Cup model for 2025. I'm super excited about that. So I didn't mean to tongue punch all of you there on the show, but you know, that's what the Ryder Cup does to me. It gets me real juiced up. So the layouts are taking, I can't click these things without, it's like just a total disaster. All right, dudes. Yeah. What's up, JD? Stars and 6K scrubs this week, absolutely. Last week it was terrible. Like, if you just want to take a look at what happened last week, we can go US Open here. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. So US Open, boom, not in the field. 2025, let's get that in there. And then just filter by salary. Like, look at what the top of the board here. No one outside of Victor Hovland gained more than like 40 points on the field. Yes, he finished third. Congrats. But all of the big like points gained on the field was just absurd. Obviously, Spawn, Bobby Mack. But look at all these green amounts of salary here. It was a free-for-all. But there's Scotty, eternally there. But you can see how much more expensive his stuff is. You're ideally trying to get DK dollar per point needs to be under 100 to be like a really good return on your dollar that you're paying for a golfer's price at 14.4. Scotty was only at 2,200. You know, like if you're looking for guys that were better than him, we can go all the way to the top of the board here. You can see obviously the guys at the top. Chris Kirk, $5,900. T12, sub 100. Cameron Young, we'll chat about him. Carlos Ortiz, 6,400. Look at these ownership numbers on these guys. Sam Burns showed up. So it was a bad week. It was really a bad week. But hey, it is what it is. We are going to be rocking and rolling, having a good goddamn time tonight. Cheers. All right. First up on the board, we're going to be leaving Scotty Scheffler, and I have a weird feeling about him coming off of a grueling week. We've seen him struggle at the US Open after the Memorial. Whether or not this US Open is going to have him feeling a little jet-lagged or rough-lagged or whatever you want to call it, who knows? We'll see there. Also, betting him in most markets has been okay. You know, he's been consistent, but the top 5 markets, the odds are just so shit. You can't get anywhere close to a Scotty Scheffler fair price. So we're kind of leaving him alone. The only market Rory McIlroy's been profitable in the last little while is the win market. So that's not going to do us any good because this isn't the greatest golf course for him. Let's be honest. You know, I don't think he's necessarily played the greatest year. He's got some good course history. In 11th, the 19th, the 7th. Obviously, Scotty won here last year. Xander Schauffele poses an interesting question, but he is still looking for a finish inside the top 5 this year. If we're taking a look at what's going on in Xander Schauffele's top 5 percentage world, he's only finishing inside the top 5 9% of the time, which is not very good considering Scotty, Rory, Cantlay, JT, Tommy Fleetwood, Russell Henley, JJ Spawn, they all like 20% and above. Xander's sitting at 9th, third best golfer in the world. We are still looking for him to get it together. I don't think this is going to be the course for him. If we are looking at wedge play this week, it is not going to be the way. He's obviously a great driver of the ball, obviously scores well on easy courses. But if we are looking for wedge play, he's 42nd in the field in strokes gained from 100 to 150. And Rory is 40th. How he won at Pebble was mainly to do with the driver. Putted well, chipped well. The players, same situation. You know, I think we're seeing 2 very mediocre wedge players at the top here. Colin Morikawa has never played well at this golf course despite being a very good wedge player. But first up, we're going to chat about some Justin Thomas. Let's just go right into it here. Justin Thomas. We'll pull up just his name. Maybe that makes a bit more sense. Justin Thomas over here, ladies and gentlemen. Can I introduce you to the man, the myth, the player we will be betting 30 to 1 on with 5 places. Felt like that was a very fair number for a golfer who has a glaring deficiency when it comes to hard and hellish conditions. As you can see here, hard conditions, he's 48th in the field. There's only 71 people in this field. I'll be adding Johnny Vegas at some point. Hellish conditions, majors like Oakmont, 51st in the field, missed the cut. Cash that play last week. Let's go. One of the few that we actually did cash. Colin missed the top 20 again by 1 shot. He just keeps doing that to us. Xander missed the top 20 at the PJ by a shot. Anyway, back to Justin Thomas. First in the field in medium scoring conditions. So that means that the scoring average for that specific round, this is not by tournaments. We don't do that because trying to figure out a tournament scoring conditions doesn't quite make sense because it could be difficult and hard and medium and hellish in 4 different rounds. So you're just doing it by round. How have they played in these rounds? So like there's only a couple rounds per tournament, maybe 3 that are playing easy. Then one of them plays medium. You never know. But these specific rounds, easy conditions are when the field is scoring better than 1 under par and beyond. So anything south of -1 for the scoring average for the field, that's what we're looking at. Justin Thomas is 7th in that department and leads the field in when scoring averages are between -0.5 and 1 stroke under par. So as you can see, off the tee on 7,200 yard, keep doing this. I thought I'd change this already. Less than 7,200 yard holes. The data is always correct. The labels I have to keep changing. I just do them on the show, basically. Off the tee on shorter courses, he's 5th in the field. He has not necessarily been the greatest off the tee. 38th in the field this year. But on these shorter courses, he bowls the out. So that's good to see. And then 2nd in the field in wedge play. So that's good to see as well. A little concerning from the 150 to 200 yard range, but I think we're going to make some damage with the wedges over there. He's obviously very, very solid when it comes out of the rough as well from 150 and in with the wedges. So that's good to see from JT. And then his long iron play is very, very good, which obviously describes why he's so solid on these shorter courses, because his long iron play really helps him dial it the hell in off the tee, because you're not hitting driver all the time. You're hitting 3 woods, you're hitting a couple 3 irons around a 7,000 yard par 70 or whatever it is. Like it's going to be a simple situation. Then putting on easy courses, Justin Thomas, 5th and 3rd. From 5 feet to 15 feet, he's 5th. On putting strokes in general, he's 3rd. Makes the 2nd most birdies on easy courses. He's only making the 22nd most birdies in general. Are we seeing the trend here with JT, people? Are we seeing the trend? 9th here in 2023, 5th in 2024. A lot of good shit lining up. He's a winner. This is not the Masters. What on earth? I need to fix this. It's going to drive me nuts. He has the OG model. This is the dad. This is where everything spawns from. So I need to copy these bad boys in. Gosh darn it. And I'm actually going to copy in the fortune cookie filter as well. While we're on the show, yeah. Values only. There we go. All right. Now it's making sense. He did not win the Masters. So that was a little concerning. RBC Heritage, short positional golf course that plays. What was the difficulty of RBC Heritage? Let's go take a look here. Thomas, Justin. At the RBC Heritage, if we go easy conditions, we are looking most recently. Okay, so the RBC Heritage wasn't easy. It was medium, most likely. So that's going to show up at some point. Was it hard? Where the hell? I'm confusing myself yet today. This is just round 1. Why are we on just round 1? RBC Heritage did not played easy. Did it play easy? No, it did not. It played medium. Yes, it did. All 4 days played medium. So, he obviously won that one. Complete tangent there. Completely ruined the momentum of the Justin Thomas argument because I got lost in my own models. Apologies to you all. Optimal lineups. Let's see here. What's you saying here? Rick Run Good had the optimal lineup last week as a 40. Yeah, exactly. This disastrous stuff. Do players have a hangover on a course like Oakmont? Danny, I mentioned this yesterday on the Fantasy Golf Degenerate show. I don't know. I feel like the course must have played easier to the guys that were in the lead or that missed the cut. Mentally, they are done. Their week is over. They get to hang out on the weekends on the couch, chill out, refresh. The guys that were in the mix probably were grinding hard, but like positively. The guys down at the bottom who shot 22 over par, 18 over par. I feel like you got to be pretty beaten up after that. So I don't know. It's up to you. I think some golfers will deal with that adversity better than others. Who the heck knows? No one leaves 7K on the table. It's what we had to deal with last week, apparently. So athletes should have a goldfish memory would be ideal. Move on to, yeah, exactly. Shane Lowry, obviously not a goldfish. He's just a giant whale moping around all the time. Commentating nerd saying we're going to have a lot of JT exposure this week. Absolutely, I agree. What's up, Caddy? How you doing, my friend? Don't tell anyone, but Robin McIntyre will win the Open Championship. I don't know about that. Wheels Up saying, in DFS or gambling, smart bets are key. You must distinguish between bad luck and a real issue. I'll be back this week. The Open was very difficult to navigate. Absolutely. All right. And then I'm going to try and remember this for when we do Q&A. Maybe I'll just do it right now. Thoughts about ownership on late ad like Talented Vegas? Do you think the more pivotal to go with the player is already low priced? Yeah, I mean, you're just going to find when guys get added late, all the content has been made already on Monday, Sunday. People aren't going to be speaking about him. So naturally, the ownership is lower on late ads, unless your name is like Cameron Young into the US Open kind of thing. We will chat about that. So Justin Thomas, there he is. Lots to like. Wedge play, off the tee, course history, easy scoring conditions, medium scoring conditions. Justin Thomas putts well in easy conditions. He makes birdies the best in easy conditions. It obviously all makes sense based off of how well he plays in easy conditions. But you know what I'm saying? It's nice to see the numbers back up what the eye tells us. And II captain, we're going with Sepp Straka as our next option. Finding him, by the way, Justin Thomas was third in the model for upside behind Rory and Scotty, 30-1. Felt like that was some great value. Sepp Straka, 35-1. This dude has won recently, like you don't even have to look far away. We got a Wells Fargo Championship victory, and then he finished third at Memorial. Like, hello. Obviously missed a couple cuts in the three majors. Got a bit of a problem there, but you know what we're saying. 23rd year in 2024, 10th year in 2021. Makes a lot of sense. We are looking at, my friends and family and fans, the best iron player from 100 to 150 in a strokes gained capacity is Sepp Straka. And then, unlike Justin Thomas, and the reason why Sepp is the second best approach player in the field, third best approach player in the field right now, is because he's scintillating from 100 to 200, 150 to 200. He's also third in the field in strokes gained from that range. Now, he's not fantastic out of the rough, but that's not that big of a deal because he has the second best strokes gained off the tee on shorter courses at a course like this. He's going to be perfect. He's the fourth most accurate driver of the golf ball. Always going to be in the fairway. So who really cares about the stuff out the rough because he's in the fairway all the time. Now he's easy scoring, medium conditions, not the greatest, not going to be telling us that he's going to be doing good. But if you think about the Truist, some easy scoring conditions on a couple days there. And if you think about the Amex, you think about the John Deere Classic. Hello, Sepp Straka's won all of those. So that makes complete sense to me. Data Golf's got him at 18th ranked in this field. Interesting stuff. We've got him ranked 9th. Or maybe that's just his actual ranking in the dot with everybody in the world. But anyway, ball striking's amazing. Around the green play, biggest bugaboo. Obviously, that's most amplified in majors because you miss a lot more greens in majors. One of the better putters in the field. How does he look when it comes to birdie percentage rates on easy courses? He's much better than his 2025 metrics. He's been struggling in the birdie rates. Look at the three majors, like when sometimes that gets you, it gets you. But he's been spiky. Par fives, he does nicely, all that jazz, and putts nicely on the easy courses as well. So that's good to see from old Sepp Straka. He's 35-1. We've also bet him for a top 5 at plus 500 ties paid in full. 35 was too nice to pass up on DraftKings, and they do not offer each ways. So we went our own way and found a top 5 over there. All right, Big Mike is in for yet more hellish bad beats. What was your bad beat last week, brother? Was it Cam Young? Please tell me you're not one of those people. All right, moving along swiftly. We're going to go from someone that we hit at the John Deere Classic 2 years ago was Sepp, and then we're going to go to Russell Henley at 40-1. I see Russell Henley is the most tipped option out there. Golf Tips Checker has that chart, and it was a quarter of the chart was Russell Henley. But I also saw that there was a fraction of that pie that had Cameron Young in it. And for those of you that have not watched Cameron Young try win a golf tournament, you might just see that this week. He can be playing the greatest golf in the world, but he just seems to just fall over his feet somehow. I don't know how it happens. It just does. We're looking for bona fide winners. I'm not looking to be early on people like that. Rather later. I don't even know what Cam Young's odds are because was not interested. But Russell Henley, in the upside, Russell used to be a safety first kind of guy. Then he's completely shifted his whole dynamic. His short game is 4th in the field. His ball striking is 26th. There used to be a time where it was the opposite way around for Russell Henley. So he's become a short game savant. Around the green, he's particularly good. Putting, pretty good as well. Great stuff on the comp courses there because we've got a bit of Sedgefield involved. Now, the concern I had with Russell is that he's not the greatest on these easy scoring venues. It's the one blemish that he does have because everything else makes a ton of sense. So I'm not going to get too concerned about the easy scoring stuff. He's 40-1. I can take an L in one of the boxes we're trying to check. By the way, these are the boxes. Easy courses, strokes gained on shorter courses. Strokes gained approach from 100 to 150, travelers top fives, and birdie percentages on easy courses. Basically overlapping the easy and birdies there, but it is what it is. So Russell checking those boxes. Off the tees, 8th in the field in strokes gained on these shorter courses, 9th in the field for accuracy. So driving the ball great when it's courses like this. Doesn't have the tons of distance. He's like, there's one person that's got more distance than him, less distance than him in this field. So that's not ideal. But he's 4th in the field in weighted strokes gained because he's 14th from 100 to 150 in the strokes gained approach department. If we're looking from 150 to 200, it's 17th, and then it's 13th from 200 plus. So he needs to find himself in the fairway. His strokes gained from the rough, though, is still 4th in the field. So inside 150, which is fantastic. He's a great wedge player out of the rough as well. Good to see all of that. The putting on easy courses makes a bit more sense. They're not ideal, but he makes a lot more birdies on these birdie fests than he does typically this year. So it's good to see old Russell doing his thing in the easier conditions. He's also a top 5 situation there, but I think he's going off later in the day. We're going to have a little wave edge for our first round leaders, by the way. All right, let's check in. Burns. Oh, Burns blow up. Yeah. Oh, and Henley. Henley was just missing a million fairways, Mike. The Cutbuster parlay. Gosh darn, man. This is the new week, baby. New week. Also, Russell Henley was 40-1, best number at DraftKings. So we went top 10 plus 280 as a bet with Russell. Gives me a chance to show you why we went there. If you're just looking at the high level situation here, you can see Russell Henley's top 10 market is the most profitable of all of them. Top 20, not so much. He finishes inside the top 20 only 3% more than he does top 10s. Top 10, 46% of the time. Top 20, 49% of the time. So basically 94% of the time, he's finishing top 20. He's also finishing top 10. That's basically what this box tells you over here. We're going to take a quick peek here at Russell Henley in general and show you like how his chart looks, because this is where we're betting him top 10. Let me zoom out a smidgen here. There we go. So this is Russell Henley's top 10 market. We're just going to hit top 10 for 2025, filtered by the most recent dates. And here you can see he's got 3 top 5s in the last 5 starts. They came at the RBC Heritage and the US Open and the Memorial. So he's starting to find his groove again. Like to see that a lot from Russell Henley. If we're taking a look at his overall metrics entering the week, I think Henley's going to be interesting to look at because he hasn't been, hitting his irons fantastic, but it seems like he's moving in the right direction lately. So at the US Open, we were balling it out on approach, solid at the Memorial. He started to find his groove here pretty much in the second round of the Memorial on approach. Like it's been looking like he's gaining over half a stroke pretty much all the time. There were 2 times since the second round that he's gained 1 stroke and lost a little bit at the US Open. So that's great. Around the green, solid. Chipping and the putting side of things comes and goes. So there's a lot to like about Russell Henley. We shall see if that comes to fruition for us at 40-1, along with the top 10, because we spoke about the top 10 already. It's good to see. We're getting all sorts of numbers on him. Plus 400 at the US Open, plus 320 at the Memorial, plus 450 at the PGA, plus 220. So we're finally getting a number at the Truist where, it made a bit more sense for him to play well there. He did not. But we're getting much better value than the RBC Heritage, which is similar venue. And Russell has been okay at this golf course, I believe. got a couple 19th place finishes, nothing too fantastic. But I think he's moving in the right direction. We're projecting, we're not expecting, we're hoping Russell Henley can get it for us over there. Yeah, so Site saying that he lost single showdowns last week. Potentially, well, obviously, I'm reading the next question. Hey, showdown, you shoot your shot. You need to just hit one good slate, and all those ones that you've lost for the last 10, 20 are wiped away. So, commentating nerd saying, better to play at tougher courses. Yes, he has. But at the same time, if you think about what Russell Henley got up to at the Cognizant, you think of what he got up to at the AT&T Pebble Beach situation, he's had a couple good runs on some shorter courses as well that are easier to play at. But he's obviously a better option, as you can see, by the things. You want him at medium, hard, and hellish. Easy, not the greatest, but 40-1. We're taking our gamble on him. I think, the course setup fits him nicely. It's not a long, easy course. It's a short, easy course. So hopefully that comes into play. Moving on to our next option is going to be Peter's offspring, Benjamin Griffin. Show up to the plate, please, sir. We are looking to bet you at 55-1 with 6 places. His easiest, his bestest. Scoring conditions are easy. That's great to see. He's very, very impressive off the tee on shorter golf courses. 10th in the field in that department. 12th on easy scoring conditions. If we're taking a look at the wedges, we're just going to keep on going by. He obviously gets most of the job done with the long irons, hence why he's so good on shorter courses off the tee. The iron play is what it is. If we want to take a look at what Ben Griffin's been up to, it's not been the greatest iron play, but he's been playing so well, just overall. So I think that's what we're going to be looking for. Wire is there. We go. Approach play. It's been so much better like the last little while. This is all the data I have in there is for the last year. We are seeing Ben Griffin do, where's his approach play? The yellow box over here, if we just go to 2024, still okay. 2025, still okay. So Ben's finally found his groove. I think we can expect approach play to continue to be this solid. Now, a lot of this at the Memorial, the US Open, it's longer iron play. But, the Charles Schwab, a little better. Had one really good day there, also lost. So we're going to be fighting the wedges a little bit versus the other guys we have, but the form is just too good. The comp courses are just, there's not really a comp course for this guy. He's just playing well everywhere. So I like this for Ben. Solid number. It is what it is. That's our final outright bet. So that's going to be Griffin. Then, those of you that are not in the chat, that are not in the Model Maniac Patreon, which golfer has the best bet, top 5, top 10, top 20, win market, whatever, it's usually not the win market, at the Travelers in the last 6 years? Who has returned you the most money in the last 6 years in a specific betting market? When you're looking for one player's name, if you are not in the Model Maniac Patreon, send it through. I need to know. I want to give you guys a free month to the Model Maniac Patreon right now. You got to just tell me which golfer is the most profitable bet in the last 6 years at the Travelers. I understand a lot of you guys are in the Discord, but we're looking for some new, fun people trying to benefit everybody. We've got the worst competition for DFS in the Model Maniac Patreon for a free month. Always fun. We've got people that are constantly trying to get it together, and they throw their best lineups in the free contest for the worst lineups, and sometimes those cash. Sometimes you take the lineup you put in the bad contest and you throw that in to a normal GPP, because you can fade all 6 guys you think are going to be played poorly and they all fire. That's just how it goes. So it's a fun time in there. All right. We got James P. It was a layup question to you guys. And James is correct. If we are looking for the most profitable golfer at the Travelers Championship, Does it change if we take him out? No, it doesn't. So just in this field, Patrick Cantlay has cashed a top 20 bet all 6 years. That's where we're going. James, congratulations. Link to the descriptions. Patreon, just click on the Discord link, get in the welcome area there. I'll hook you up with what you need. And or message me on X. I usually forget this stuff afterwards. But we're going to be rocking and rolling with Patrick Cantlay, friends. Do I have him over here somewhere? There he is for a top 20, minus 140. Patrick Cantlay, just doing fantastic work over here. What does he typically do at this course? That's a good question. At TPC River Highlands, we are looking for Patrick Cantlay, and it's just everything apart from putting. Like he has not lost in an area, in a single area, T2 green, since 2018 at this golf course. That is bananas good. And the times he was losing with the putter were his first 2 starts at this course in our database. So he's fixed the putter. I mean, he's literally not lost a single stroke in any area of the game at the Travelers Championship since 2020. That's 5 starts in a row. I mean, he just balls out at this golf course. He just absolutely balls out at this golf course. And we are not just leaning on the top 20 market for him or the recent, the course history. We're also looking to kind of bank on what he's been doing this year. His markets, if we're taking a look at them, the top 20 market has been the best market for Patrick to bet in. It's returned you $280 in the last 12 months if you're looking to bet Patrick Cantlay in that department. He's lost you money in the top 10 market. That just kind of shows you what he's been up to this year. And if you take a look at his recent form, we've only got 1 top 5, 1 top 10, but we've got 3 top 20s. So that's great to see. Great to see that. Missed the cut at the US Open. Not a great major season for Patrick. One of the bona fide US Ryder Cup members, not playing good golf in the big moments. His safety ranking is 7th. His upside ranking is 11th. Just shows you want to go top 20s versus the top 10s there in the betting market. That makes a ton of sense. He's finishing top 20 basically 54% of the time. We are getting minus 140. A lot of that course history is baked in. And it's also a top 20 in a 70-man field is basically a third of the field that you got to beat because there will be ties involved. And this includes ties paid in full at minus 140. You could get it to minus 115. Don't get too cute. Just without ties paid in full, taking on dead heats, just go minus 140, ties paid in full over there for Patrick Cantlay. All right. Next up, let's chat some DFS, people. Let's chat a little bit of DFS. We'll get the winnings out of here. Hide those columns, unhide these columns, and take a look at some stuff. So we can take a look here on the left-hand side of this on the sheet. We've got, can you really see let me just change this to white so you guys can see what's going on there. All right, so these are the points gained, averages, like a points gained by DK price. So basically we're taking these 3 columns. The average points gained at this event. Where's Patrick Cantlay? There, he's gaining the most points out of anyone, obviously, playing great golf at this golf course. So this is the points gained on the field. So not looking for total points because we're looking relative to the amount of the points the field scored. We want to see how many points you gained on them because some people might just play easier courses and score more points because there's just more birdies. We're looking for points gained on the field. So same situation here. The last 12 months, Patrick Cantlay's gained 15 points on the field. In the last 3, he's only gained 7. So he's trending backwards. This is kind of what this is telling us here. And then this is taking the average of them all and checking out what the price is at $9,800. And it looks like that's a decent chance at some value. So we can click here, biggest to largest. Ryan Fox seems to be grading out very, very nicely. Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, no surprise there. Kevin Yu showing up at $6,400. So this is the kind of stuff you can use this tool for, finding value, finding guys we want to kind of take a peek at. I think it makes a lot of sense. Use code TRAV50 for 50% off a year or a month. for your first month there. So this is what we're dealing with here. So we can kind of figure out what's going on there. As always, we've got the tea times. It looks like there's going to be some weather going on Thursday afternoon, people. So you got to get your shit together. AM tea times are going to likely be more owned, are also likely going to score better points if the weather that we predict, and we often predict very wrong. If it continues to go the way it looks, the AM, PM waves should have much better scores than the rest of the field. So that's what's going on there. Scotty Scheffler is coming in at 40% ownership, 13-3. Very fair number. Won at this golf course, playing great golf. And Scotty does not mess around. He actually leads the field in strokes gained on easy courses. You'd think he doesn't, but he does. He obviously won the CJ Cup Byron Nelson by 1 million shots. So, that was obviously an easy golf course. Checking in on the chat here before we do this. What's up, Chris O, my man? Yeah. Well, I'm totally cool playing Patrick Cantlay in the top 20 market. He's provided incredible consistency. He's provided immense returns in the top 20 market. We know our lane when it comes to him. I've done betting with this dude. I bet him at the FedEx St. Jude when he hit in the water. I've had issues with this dude. I bet him at the RBC Heritage last year. It's just like non-freaking stop, man. So we're going to kind of just leave him alone there. Top 20, off we go. Can't lay that? Why not? Just because it's negative odds, Kevin? You can't lay that juice. Don't get picky. Golf Twitter, golf betting community prides themselves way too much on betting plus money bets. It's an obvious. What is 100? 6 of 6 is 100%. He's finishing inside the top 20 in big field events, in majors and stuff as well, not just 70-man fields. 54% of the time. Minus 140, what's that? Like in the mid-50s. It's like only a 55% probability, and it matches perfectly his track record. Doesn't even take into consideration how good he is at this golf course. Don't be a little betting bitch. Lay the juice. I'm speaking to everyone that decides that plus money is the cutoff for golf bets. Some of the best bets I've made in the last while was Xander Schauffele top 10s, Scotty Scheffler top 5s. And those were negative as shit. But there was an edge. You feel me? Lay the juice, Kevin. Don't be a little softy. All right, done. Done with that nonsense. Done with that nonsense. Lay the juice, Kevin. Lay the juice. So, Scotty, I love what's going on here. I love what's going on. And if we take a look at his fortune cookie box, he checks 30 boxes. It's a lot of boxes. So that's good to see. Fortune cookie filter over there. Rory checks 20. Xander checks 19. Colin Morikawa only checks 9. Patrick Cantlay 19. Ludwig 8. JT 20. So there's some guys we like. It's what we're doing over here. So guys I like in this range. And by the way, these color codes match the boxes. So those are fortune cookie boxes over there on the right. Some of these boxes that we have over here are included in the fortune cookie. Some of them aren't, But these are the 5 boxes we want, and these colors match them up. So as you can see here, JT and Scotty Scheffler are the only 2 guys in purple to check all 5 boxes. Both got Traveler top 5s. Both great with wedges. Both very good on short courses off the tee. Dominate the easy scoring conditions. Make birdies on easy courses. That's good to see. Yes, that finger point. So Scotty, JT, 2 of my favorite plays. We'll see what Justin Thomas's ownership comes in at. So far, as long as it's less than a decent chunk of these guys in the 10K range, where I'm not that interested in, Rory, Colin, and Xander, although they grade out nicely, JT grades out 3rd for me in the upside market. So we're getting some serious value over here. If you take a look at the upside versus DK rank, this kind of tells you, okay, these are the dudes that find value in the model, because we've got their DK rank over here. Colin is like way below. Like his upside is 14th in this field, and his rank for DK pricing is 4th. like we're out, like I just don't trust Colin Morikawa, even though he checks these two boxes. It's likely the wedge play and the driving accuracy. He's not even that good off the tee in these shorter field events. Fourth in the field in wedge play. That's like one of the only two that he's good at. And then does he have what's his easy courses situation? Also good on easy courses. So top 15 over there. That's it. Wedge play and easy scoring. That's Colin Morikawa's two boxes. He doesn't check the other three. So that's not good. Xander Schauffele hasn't had a top 5 this year. I'm not trying to be early on him at 20% ownership. Rory McIlroy doesn't know shit from shovel. I don't know if I'm in the mood for that. I like Scotty Scheffler, 13-3, playing in the horrible wave. This 40% could come down to 35, 33, 30. Who would people gravitate to? Ludwig and Rory. That's a tough sell. Probably going to go all the way down here to Sam Burns and Victor Hovland and Tommy Fleetwood if they're looking for the next best tee times. But most of these big names don't really go off that early. We've got a couple others. Ooh, by the way, I'll be doing first round leader bets at the end of the show as well. I just totally forgot about it. We're going to just roll with the punches over here. Maybe we just do it as we're going through and I find a couple dudes. So that's what's going on over there. So JT, our guy, Patrick Cantlay, I would imagine this ownership comes in even higher. If we want to take a look at what Cantlay's ownership has been in the past at the Travelers, let's use this tool real quick and reset some filters. Travelers. Alrighty. Travelers Championship. And then we're going to go find Cantlay and see what these ownership numbers have been like for him. So last year, Patrick Cantlay was 16.7% owned at $9,600, finished 5th. Prior years, 25%, 23%, 18, 13. So he's starting to, we lost a bit of ownership last year in 2024. Let's see who ate that ownership up. It's a good thing to look at, yeah. Do you enjoy this part of the show? We're getting a little more nerdy on the DFS side. I'm trying to be a better DFS player. So Kenny kind of gave me a backhanded insult on the show, which I totally agree with. I'm not the greatest at DFS. I'm a much better. It's just how I got my feet wet in this world. We're looking at last year, and we can take a look at the highest owned options in the 2024 Travelers Championship. Scotty Scheffler led the field at 30%. We're getting him at 40 this week. Potentially, weather might reduce that. Corey Connors injured was 24%. Colin Morikawa, 23%. Xander, Brian Harman, Ludwig, Russell Henley. It's the only female Akshay Bhatia and then Patrick Cantlay. So he wasn't that badly owned. Do we think he's going to be more than 20% owned this week? Would we be in the mood to foster Patrick Cantlay on our DFS lineups? We shall see. Depends. Checks 4 boxes. Obviously, great course fit. Makes a ton of sense here. We'll see what he gets up to. Scooting on down the board. Let's get my face in the mix here. First off, Tommy Fleetwood. I saw my man Kevin mention me in the chat. Tommy Fleetwood gets a 9:55 tee time. I'm going to pull up the Discord here quickly. I think I put the weather in the chat here because I'm not going to pull up the weather site. Here we go. All right. Here's the weather for TPC River Highlands. Let's see if I can. All sorts of stuff in the way here. All right, so these are miles per hour. There we go. I don't know what I'm doing. I've ejected myself from the mixture. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is you can see there's some serious weather. This is for Friday. This is for Thursday. Serious wind picking up over here, and the gusts are even worse at the bottom there. You can't see. So geez, what a terrible situation. Yeah. So these are the gusts. And I guess I could have just done this the whole time. Look at me navigating my own stream here. Anyway, these are the gusts that are showing up here from 12 miles an hour in the morning at 7 o'clock, 14, 15, 17, 28 at 4 p.m., 30 at 5 p.m. We're getting some massive gusts, doubling in strength. Then we're also finding on Friday, it's not nearly as bad the opposite way around. In fact, it's almost better because if you're going off in the AM on Thursday, you're going to go off in the PM on Friday, and the wind seems to be dying down a little bit in the afternoon. Depends when you go off. That's 2 o'clock. You might get a couple holes with some better wind. But this isn't doubling on itself. The worst is 23 and the best is 18. That's only 5 miles per hour difference. Over here, we're seeing 12 mile per hour gusts, and then we're seeing 28, 30. It's almost triple. So significantly different when it comes to that situation. So there's the Model Maniac Discord for you guys. A little quick tour of what you can find in there for all sorts of fun research purposes. Back to what we were talking about over here. I am not still stoned. No, I don't typically do the stream stoned. I'm hardly ever on camera. No way. It was just a celebration. I'll do have a couple Amstels or couple Stella Artois, but I've only had like the neck of it so far. So no, that was just for the 420th episode of Fantasy Golf Degenerates. It was a fun time though. Byron, why so down on Cam Young? He's sneaky and seems to be in great form. Not a bad course fit. 17 last year. Also, can you deep dive on him? Sure, James. I think Cameron Young just comes in significantly higher owned. Oh, no. I'm also just sharing. I keep it semi-professional. I can handle my booze a lot better than I can my drugs. So, that's where we're going over here. Cameron Young, what is he projected at? 15% ownership at $7,800. So this is the situation over here. This is the situation with Cameron Young. He doesn't check any of the boxes on a long-term standpoint. He's going to be 15% owned, people. Which is significant. It's like Ben Griffin levels of stuff. Ben Griffin has won twice this year. He just finished third at the Memorial. I understand Cam Young also been playing some solid golf, but his best finish is a fourth. It's happened twice now. So I understand he's playing good, but just getting over the line for this guy is so difficult. Ben Griffin seems to get it together. He's fearless in the moment. He finished second to Scotty Scheffler. Cameron Young lost to Peter Malnati. He's not even going to be on the tour next year. You know what I'm saying? You just got to have it, and he just doesn't. He's way too popular. My issue is not with Cameron Young. It's with his cult that follows him. You're probably one of them, James. I'm just joking. I'm not calling you a cult member. But you understand what I'm saying. 15% owned, $7,800. Yes, he's been great, but there are other options that the model suggests is better. I mean, we are overreacting here to a couple good rounds, couple 2 tournaments here. Driver-intensive venues. Yes, he shot a 59 here as well. He shot a 59 here and finished, what, 9th? And he goes down in the history books as a shooting 59. What are we doing? What are we doing with this dude? So, I can't tell you why people are so obsessed with this dude. Give me Taylor Pendrith. Well, I know Taylor Pendrith isn't the greatest wedge player, but Cameron Young has not been gaining with the irons either. He's like 42nd in wedge play in this field. He's much better. Not really. He's just very bad iron player. Very bad iron player. Easy scoring conditions. It's his worst metric. Maybe last year was just an anomaly. You never know. Good tee time, though. 10:50. So good stuff there. This 15% is probably going to be 20-something, especially in the higher stakes stuff. People just jam Cam Young in there. Where would we want to go instead? Let's find a pivot off of Cam Young. Models liking Maverick McNeely at half the ownership. He's massively overvalued in the model versus DK, undervaluing his value. I might just still be. Maverick McNeely, not the greatest track record here either, or more recently, but he's finished third at the RBC Heritage, fifth at the Memorial. Cam has got some decent track record here, but it's also, it's fine. It's fine. I need to find a better pivot for him. Would it be Akshay? Ooh, but he's 11% owned. Akshay checks a couple more boxes though, which is good to see. Akshay's best finish here was his only finish, 5th, but hasn't finished inside the top 16 since the Memorial, really. That's been his best top 20 since the Masters. So not good there. Ooh, we got to find a pivot off of this Cameron Young guy. I would rather play Ben Griffin over Cameron Young. Not quite a pivot, but that's an option. Can't say I'm super enthralled about Shane Lowry, but he's also not 70 whatever Cam Young is, $7,800, $500 more. Shane Lowry, great wedge player. Not the greatest. He's more of a mid-iron guy. Solid with the accuracy side of things. What's his easy scoring conditions? 13th. So he's not terrible. He's also played well at the Cognizant, coming off a very, very bad US Open. His ownership could be easily half of what Cam Young's is. Harris English doesn't play easy courses well at all. And what's his course history? No, not great. So not good there. Aaron Rye might be a guy, also higher owned over there. Luke Clanton. Give me Luke Clanton over Cameron Young at $7,400. Checks 2 boxes. The box that he definitely checks is easy scoring. He's 3rd in the field in the model for the last 12 months. He's very good on these shorter courses where you have to drive it in the fairway or just handle a short driving venue. He's 18th in the field in strokes gained off the tee there. We're going to rock and roll over here. Not the greatest when it comes to wedges, but he's very good from 150 to 200. There's going to be a decent amount of those from the 150 to 175 range. And then he's pretty solid as well from 200 plus. Must be why. He's got massive ball speed, by the way. Massive ball speed. I love Luke Clanton as a round 2, round 3 option. He seems to get off to these slow starts in round 1. Round 2 and 3 is where he really balls out. And yeah, he hasn't played much. He's doing a lot of college stuff. Missed the cut at the RBC Canadian. Don't think that's the kind of course for him. I like him on a course like this where you're going to be looking to birdie hunt, baby. So give me Luke Clanton instead. Not Minwoo Lee. I can't really do him. JT Poston's intriguing at $7,200, $7,300 at half the ownership. Ryan Fox. Give me Ryan Fox over Cameron Young at $7,000. I think that's where we can probably be going there. He's been, not the greatest, but Fox has just found his new groove. He won at the one flight. He won in Canada. Geez, he's just winning. Finished real solid at 19th at the US Open. So, he's figuring his stuff out. I think Foxy is absolutely under consideration, and he makes a lot of sense. Tom Kim finished 2nd year last year. Hasn't had a great year. His best finish in the last little while is 33rd. But I fancy him as he's 9%. That doesn't seem right to me. Seems a little high. People reading into the 2nd place finish a little too much. Always down for some Mackenzie Hughes at $7,100. Think he's someone that I can absolutely get behind for that kind of market. Low owned option. Plays well at the RSM. I think he's someone that you can kind of take a peek at. I think RBC Canadian, RBC Heritage, Mackenzie finished 3rd. That's a great kind of a comp course as well. So that's where Justin Thomas won. Like Mackenzie Hughes as a chance over here. Moving along. Let's get back to the top of the board and chat about some more guys. Victor Hovland. Model's not catching up to what he's getting up to, but I think, we can really expect some good stuff from Victor. He's not cracked the top 10 at this golf course, though, in the past. I don't know if he can make enough putts. That's the question. He does putt better on easy courses, but it's kind of rough for Victor in the putting streets. 59th around the green. Somehow, 20th in putting in the field. I don't understand that, considering how badly he putted last week. So maybe Victor Hovland. I think I'm out on Sam Burns. He's just going to be making a bunch of putts. I don't know if he's going to be doing that at this golf course. Also, best finish here as a 13th, despite some really, really solid form entering the week. I think he might have just been pushed over the edge at the US Open. Tommy Fleetwood. Friends and family, 35-1. Thomas Fleetwood will be our first round leader bet of the day. Pops, 6th in the model, safety and upside. Fantastic stuff. He's 7th in strokes gained for round 1 strokes gained average, and he goes off at 9:55, does Tommy. So that is good to see. You're getting that early tee time. We just showed you the monstrosity of a segment there when trying to show you the weather. Tommy Fleetwood absolutely fits that mold. I think great in round 1, top 15 finish here last year. That's good to see. And, we're going to just expect some good stuff from Tommy Fleetwood. I think he's an absolute round 1 live contender. He could get out the gates hot, 35-1. Then we are going to go with one more dude in this market who's also 35-1. It's Keegan Bradley. Keegan Bradley's down here. He's doing his thing, shaking that ass. If you take a look, Keegan won this tournament in 2023. And if you take a look at Keegan's strokes gained by round, he's 6th in the field. That's Keegan's jam. He was sensational at this golf course a couple years ago. Keegan Bradley, absolutely someone we're going to be taking a peek at in the first round leader market, 35-1, 5 places each way. Easily his best market, round by round stuff. So if you're looking for a round 1 showdown, Keegan goes with a 10:35. That's 4 hours, 3 hours before JJ Spahn. It is, 3.5 hours before freaking Jordan Spieth. So there's some tough names. Scotty Scheffler going off at 1:45. That's 3 hours, 11, 12, 1. Yeah. So 3 hours before, you can play about more than half your round before the weather starts getting nasty over there. And I think Keegan Bradley's definitely in the mix. Going with him. Then we're going with Ryan Gerard, 66-1 for a first round leader. I'm just going to filter by round 1 strokes gained. You're going to see exactly why we're looking for everybody here. There's Ryan Gerard. He goes off a little bit later. Not ideal, but I just love his price, and he's very good. He's the 3rd best strokes gainer in round 1. Strokes gainer in round 1. Not going to bet Rory McIlroy for first round leader at his odds. Not going to do Russell Henley either, despite he's going off at 11:50, but his odds are really short. Keegan Bradley going off at 10:35. Tommy Fleetwood going off at 9:45. Should be betting Ryan Fox. Don't know why we are not doing that. Might have to add him to the first round leader card. We're going though. Harry Hall, 8:30 tee time. Early birdie. Shout out my man Jim Cummings, who was a fantastic guest last week. By the way, in the comments, let me know who you want to have as guests on the show in the future. You guys drive the show. Let me know who you want to see. Harry Hall, 60-1 with 5 places each way. He's easily better in round 1 than he is typically, and he's not the worst when it comes to making birdies. Makes a ton of birdies, but seems to be struggling on the easier courses. What's he doing in the easy world? Very nice to see he's 14th in that department. So good to see him at 14 for strokes gained easy. If we take a look back at the round 1 guys, that's going to be Harry Hall for us. And then we're going to do Bud Colley. He's going to be in the mix at 66-1 as well. 20th in the field in strokes gained in round 1. 8 a.m. tee time. First guy off basic. So going to absolutely have the best conditions out of anyone in the morning. So 8 o'clock is also quite nice. Boston, it should be warm by now. Bud does some good work in the first round and gets a perfect tee time over there. And then we're going to be putting Tony Finau. I think I bet Tony Finau as well at 50-1. Did not put his name down on the list here. But I like his tee time. And I think Tony Finau is going to be sneaky. 23rd in strokes gained in round 1, 8:50 tee time. He's also got a couple good finishes here in the past. So I'm expecting some good fireworks from Tony Finau in the first round. His putter, I don't trust to cooperate a full week. I can absolutely trust it to cooperate on Thursday. That's Tony Finau for you. He's just all over the place. And I love the fact that he's got some good vibes here the last couple of years. So that's good to see from Tony. And that's going to be it, apart from Tom Hoagie as well. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I even put Tony Finau in? I don't know. Going with Tony Finau as well at 50 to 1, I think is his number. Right. Tom Hoagie, where are you, my dude? I think he's just kind of depending on the tee times. A to Z. Where's Tom Hoagie? There he is, yeah. Going off at 9:55. I saw my man Jim was on him as well. Great finish here last year. Good to see that. Solid finish at the Memorial. And Tom Hoagie makes a decent amount of putts on easier scoring conditions too. 24th in the field in birdie or better rates in easy conditions. Doesn't typically thrive. It's been doing better on hellish type situations, but very, very solid off the tee on shorter golf courses too. So a lot to like about Tom Hoagie, and of course he's one of the better iron players from 100 to 150. Great stuff from Hoagie over there. So that's what's going on over there, friends. Other names we want to take a peek at. We're going to take a look here. Get this board back on top here. I'm taking any more questions. Guys have any? I haven't even taken a look at the chat here for a while. Cam Young is too busy. Yeah. Is Berger fandom over? I would say so. Daniel Berger's got a problem, and it's called putting. It has been very bad the last little while. So let's take a look at Berger, because it's not what we want. It ain't what we want. So, finally at very difficult greens, he putted well. He gained strokes putting for the first time in a while. In 2025, he's lost almost a stroke per round putting. So that's not good. It's just been bloodbath after bloodbath. And it's been more recently than not, but it's good to see that he's actually finally found a bit of form over there. Again, must have been leaving himself a decent amount of 6-7 footers that he's probably just made a bunch of, given how bad his around the green play was. Probably leaving himself in more makeable ranges than anything. The ball striking has always been good by him, man. Approach play can be very, very good. It's kind of fallen off a little bit, but off the tee, he's been sensational. Love him for a kind of golf course like this. But I don't know. It's just maybe we're getting off too soon. Where did I skip you? Oh, I'm seeing you now. Okay. Scotty plus Eric Cole, Scotty plus Matty Schmidt, or Scotty plus Tom Hoagie going to be popular pairings. I think Scotty plus Cameron Young, very popular. Who are you thinking? Matty Schmidt? All the way down. Where the heck are these guys? There he is. 63, maybe. I don't know. I think Ryan Gerard might be popular. Hoagie will be popular. Coley will be popular at 68 with Scotty. Who else did you want? Eric Cole. Where's Eric Cole? Better be up here a little further, right? Where the heck is Eric Cole? I cannot find dudes right now. All right. Jesus. Yeah, I think he'll be quite popular. What's he been up to the last little while? People are going to get put off by his stuff. Checks 3 boxes, by the way. Absolutely love that. From Eric Cole. Solid course history. 2 missed cuts in a row with nothing really better. Since the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, it's been pretty bad. So we're not entirely sure if that's going to happen again. But he's not a bad option at $6,200. I think Lucas Glover makes a lot of sense here too. He comps out quite nicely. Benny Arn typically plays very nicely on these shorter courses. He gains a lot of strokes off the tee when it comes to, nope, doesn't do that anymore. Okay, used to do it, doesn't do it now. Eric Cole drives it nicely off the tee on these shorter courses. So I like Eric Cole a lot, but I think if I were to pick the most popular, it's probably going to be Hoagie. I think he's been playing well. Checks 3 boxes. Decent course history last year, 7th at the Memorial. I don't know. Maybe it's just everyone. Matty Schmidt. He's been pretty solid too. Couple miscuts. No, he'll be the least owned then of the bunch. I would probably say it's going to be Hoagie, Cole, Schmidt, owned with Scotty as much. Oh my God, I've completely. There's so many pluses and stuff in that one there. You're going to be putting Matty and Eric Cole together. Nope. There's commas involved too. I need to put my glasses on. All right. Right. Moving along. Hideki on the pulse. What's up? Seemed to get his irons back. We can take a look. I just don't trust Hideki in the first round either. I think it's not his round. Seemed to get his irons back. He's also very good at US Opens with his irons. It's actually hilarious. You want to see a random thing here quickly? Take a look at this US Open track record with Hideki's iron play. So he gained a lot again. So 0.3 there, 2.9. Gained 7 strokes on approach at this US Open. Click this button right here. Look at this approach number. It's insane. It's basically all of his strokes gain total that he's gaining on approach. He's absurd in US Opens. Take a look at these numbers here for Hideki. It's just green forever. Since 2019, look at all of these green numbers that he's been gaining on approach. And then went nuts again this week. Last year, not so much. Consistent, but he goes nuclear. He has approach play routinely above 3 in these US Opens. It's nuts. So that could be a reason. I know the irons are back, but man, US Open's like his course. For some reason, he just levels it the hell up at US Open. So I'm not in on Hideki. As you can see in his career, the first round hasn't been great. This year hasn't been great. That's US Open. I'm lying. I guess this year has been fine. What have we been getting? Couple early, obviously Farmers, the Century. Recently, it's been flat, man. You're just not opening it up in round 1. So I'm out. Sorry, not in the mood. Would I bet Siwoo Kim for a top 20 or better on this track? Siwoo Kim. Let's take a look-see. Siwoo. This year, he has been a very bad bet, particularly in the top 10 markets, so maybe top 20 is the way we would go. Missed the last 3, cash 4 in a row earlier. That's what you're going to be getting from Siwoo. What does he look like at the Travelers historically? He's only cashed 1 top 20 bet. Ooh, what is his odds? I can't say I'm super thrilled about that. I can show you his odds on Play Profit X, by the way, which has Scotty Scheffler at plus 370. That's if you're in the mood for that. Keegan Bradley available at 40-1. You got Cameron Young for all you fish out there, 65-1. JT, there's a 40 out there for Justin Thomas. Okay, I'm in, and that's got $2,500 worth of equity. So there's a decent amount that can be made off of that one. I'm going to be cashing out my top 30 and go, or maybe I'll just be doubling down on with my Play Profit X cash on JT at 40. Love that. If you're looking to be a sicko, Seb Straka's 30-1, Russell Henley's 40-1, Tommy Fleetwood 35. So there's some nice numbers. I'm absolutely going to be getting in on the Justin Thomas 40. So I'm actually going to just remove myself. I'm going to log in. Don't want you seeing my login details. Now it wants an authentication code. Not happening on the stream. That's all good. But yeah, I'm in on the Justin Thomas 40-1. Let's freaking go. I'm in. Play Profit X, and they'll be bringing over the round by round stuff tomorrow for overs unders. You can just use this tool that I have to figure out where you want to be going on the over unders for these people. So if you want to take a look at, say, we just go with Hideki. What has he typically done at the Travelers Championship? He has all of Hideki's rounds at the Travelers. You can see what the scores were. You're going to be looking at anything under 66.5, 69, 68 is probably going to be pretty close to where the unders are set for Play Profit X when they do that. So you can find those over unders quite nicely. I would play the overs almost in the PM and the unders in the AM. So we'll take a look at those markets as they show up. The Solar first round leader play only comes once a year, my friend. Jesus didn't turn water into wine every day. Only when the people desperately needed it. Okay. That's what the Play Profit X situation was. We're also going with the Decky. We're leaving him alone. Okay. I just don't. He's never really. His iron play at this course has been okay. Last year didn't do the greatest stuff either. But yeah, that's not going to happen. Maybe over the weekend, we took a crack at Max Griesemann at 500-1 to get inside the top 2 or win the US Open. So we're firing them off in the Discord, but we're not quite, as bullish as we were on Cristobal. I feel like this course is just a wedge fest. Can your model tell us who's the best wedge player right now? Stalled Warlord. Yes, I can. I've done this multiple times. It's in the Discord. It's the reason we're betting a couple guys. Yeah, strokes gained wedges, 100 to 150. We have got Seth Straka, Justin Thomas, Tom Hoagie, Colin Morikawa, JJ Spahn, Lucas Glover, Scotty Scheffler, Tom Kim, Nick Taylor, and Tommy Fleetwood, all in the top 10 for wedge play. So there you have it. Question from Wheels Up. With price and pedigree considered, I'm going with Im. But who's your Hovland-like upside with no recent form? If you had to bet on someone in bad form to win or top 5, who's on your shortlist? Love these questions. We can try and see, okay, who's got upside but bad safety? That typically means they're playing quite poorly at times. Hello, Maverick McNeely. Pedigree at $7,600 is absolutely got winning pedigree. He checks 0 boxes in the model. What does his ranking, though, is significantly better. I've got him ranked 7th in upside for Mav. If we take a look at Mav's top 5 rate, he finished inside the top 5 in a quarter of his starts. If we just filter by guys with the highest top 5 rates, it's Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, Bud Colley, and Maverick McNeely, finishing inside the top 5s. So you can absolutely look for Mav to get it done. He's also very solid on easy scoring conditions. That was not met in the box checkings because I went up to top 15 only. He's 18th over there. He isn't the greatest wedge player. That's fine. Typically very good from further away because of all the speed that he has. He putts well on easy conditions. He's also top 21 in birdie or better rates this year. Whatever. I think you can kind of monitor it because he seems to get off to slow starts and then you can kind of catch him late. Maybe a live ad for Maverick McNeely, if I do say so myself. But there is upside. 5th, 3rd. And we know he played nicely at the Genesis Invitational. So there's a lot to like from Maverick McNeely's side. That's where we're going to be going over there as someone that might not necessarily be playing the greatest. His safety ranking is 21st, but his upside ranking is 7th. So that's a big jump for me. And Bud Colley kind of following the same route at $6,800. Great tee time. Going to be a little owned though. You bet, my friend. You bet. I mentioned a lot of the what we need in this course earlier in the show. If you want to go back, I don't know how long you've been in here. Nick Taylor, first round leader. Oh, I don't know if I can add more dudes. But if we want to look for you, he just doesn't have a round that he's particularly that great in my opinion. But he's putting on easy conditions and he's solid to wedges and he's also pretty good off the tee. I think he's an absolute player that we're in the mood for at $6,900 at 7% ownership. So that's where we'll be going over there for Nick Taylor for sure. Someone I'm in the mood for there. But yes, going back to these finish rates, Maverick has more top 5s than Patrick Cantlay, Steph Straka, Tommy Fleetwood, So I think Akshay is a great candidate for a bit of a bounce back. I believe he checks 3 boxes. Those boxes are probably a top 5 at this golf course in the past. Yes, he finished 5th here. That's great. He also is much better putting, making birdies on easy conditions, and he likely finishes inside the top 15 for easy scoring. No, 27th for easy scoring, but he's very accurate off the tee. So this easy scoring didn't check that box. If it was 15th, he would have had a 4th box checked and been in the mood there with Patrick Cantlay. So there's a lot to like from Akshay, and I don't know if he's going to be that pop. 11%. Ugh, that's fine. You got to take a couple low owned. It's a 70-man field. The ownership has to go somewhere. It's not going to be significantly better on other people too. Someone I'm out on is Xander Schauffele as well. So Hit the God has got a TikTok girlfriend as well, by the way. And I think he's been constantly just whipping his neck back to her when she's asking like a million questions, just irritating him over the weekend. And that's why he's got a neck injury. So you heard it here first. You bet, my man. You bet. Mav, great call. Hopefully it works out for us. How important? Nick Taylor, sites, if you're in the mood, go for it. Streezy Sloth. Deezy Sloth. How important is it to bet the each ways versus straight outright? It depends. It depends on what kind of a bettor you are. If you want to just ride the chance to hit the outright winner, don't have to bet the each ways. But if you're in the mood to kind of still like for me, my guys lose in playoffs all the time. My guys freaking just don't get it done enough. So it's a way to kind of still subsidize the bankroll a little bit if you get close, but your guy doesn't come across the line, because you're basically just betting a top 5 or a top 6. Also, I would maybe suggest, like, you don't have to play your each ways on every single outright. You could potentially make a rule for yourself at like 50 and beyond. You can put the each ways on there, because then you're getting close to 10-1 on an outright for the top 5 payout. Your top 5 would pay out 10-1 on a 50-1 ticket. So that's nice, because you're still getting a decent chunk back for that each way. Maybe the shorter price guys at like 20-1, you're only getting 4-1 back. So the payout, although you're betting more on them, if you want to return the same amount, the leverage isn't there. When I bet the Cristobal Del Solar first round leader, I had 3 places or 4 places each way, which, or was it 5? Yeah, it was 5. It's just a normal first round leader thing. That paid out a lot because it was 350-1. Like, that's what you're looking for when you're looking for those each ways, because sometimes they don't get all the way across the line, but that close finish still pays you out nicely. In my opinion, I think that's the philosophies that people think of. You don't have to bet them all. You can bet them all. Kind of, I just like to get my money back if I made a good decision and it just didn't pay off, but it still was a great decision. So that's kind of the way to look at how people, yeah. So Burns, exactly. There we go. You would have, unless you cash out or hedge or whatever, and each way kind of makes those bad breaks manageable. Until you start having bad breaks on the each ways, then it's a different situation. But anyway, Barson. Okay, dude, you're hilarious on X, by the way. Anytime. Alrighty. I think that's going to be it for me, friends. Any other, the best easy golfers? I think we've already done that. Yeah, because we checked out Scotty. So let's take a look and see what the model's liking the most for the best, the biggest jumps than DK. And it looks like Andrew Novak, Davis Thompson, Maverick McNeely grading out really nicely for us at $7,600. 21 spots better ranking for us in the upside than the DraftKings price. Daniel Berger still grading out nicely, at $7,500, but he's going to be 12% owned with a putter that could absolutely burn people. Is that ownership worth taking on that gamble? You can be the judge of that. Still liking Mav a lot as the option this week. Then Ryan Gerard, I like a lot. He's 15 spots better at 36 in the upside versus 51st. He's been playing great. Been playing really, really good lately. Couple major finishes too, which is good. He kind of fell down the board on Sunday at the US Open, but finished nicely, I believe, at the PGA. He's doing good stuff. PGA Championship, 8th place finish. Memorial, 23rd. He's doing good stuff, man. 50th at the US Open, not ideal. Kind of fell down the board there, as I mentioned. Max Griesemann. Love Max for his easy scoring conditions. He, out in Mexico, made putt after putt after putt out there when he finished 3rd or 4th at the WWT. If you think of a place like Sedgefield, where they have the Wyndham, where he blew that lead to Aaron Rai. That's a great comp. As you can see, the comp's pretty nice for him over there. So easy scoring conditions. Max Griesemann will eat them up. Look at the putter. Look at the around the green play. You know, he's going to make up a lot of mediocre ball striking with the short game. And that's typically on easier conditions. You know, you give yourself more birdie looks in general. So that's the way we're looking over there. What else do we want to chat about? Some Lucas Glover is interesting. Lucas Glover is interesting. You know, you're not getting the greatest upside, but he's $6,200 and he can potentially give you a 20th place finish. A 25th place finish at $6,200 is totally worth it. You know, if you take a look at DK points gained for some cheap dudes, we can go over here. Look at what this DK dollar per point does at $6,200 here. So who are we? On Travelers Championships. Okay. So we are looking at, is this any 2024? Just in general. We've got $6,300 finished 2nd. Let's look for a guy that finished like 15th. Carson Young, T15, $6,500, 60 points per dollar gained. Yes. He has a Travelers Championship. Zach Johnson, T29, $62 per point gained. You know, like these are the best. The lower the number here, the better. And you can see points gained on the field. They're typically low owned. That's what you're looking for, baby. And I think, you know, we could see something like this unlock some of your lineups if you're looking for Lucas Glover at $6,200. Adam Hadwin is interesting as well, but he's actually the same. That's just it's a net wash there. So Glover, love Henley, Max Griesemann, same situation at $6,900. Justin Thomas, I'll be playing for sure. Scotty and JT, and then at the top there, dude, I know. Love Wyndham, I just don't trust right now. He's also very good with the wedges, though. Very good with the wedges. Where is he? He's like priced all the way down here too, isn't he? I'm struggling to read these things today. Where the hell is Clark here? I think his wedge play is pretty damn good, but I need to get off here in a little bit. I'll be a guest on $6,800. He plays okay here, but for that kind of price, I think you could convince me at 6% owned $6,800. You know, that can help unlock a couple things. Now, it's not the greatest finishes here, but he's also been playing very badly lately. So I don't know. If you're looking for a gamble, that's where you can go there on Clark. Yeah. He does sound appealing when he stays dry, doesn't he? And I think around Boston, maybe at this time of year, he'll be fine. I have not spoken about Johnny Vegas. I don't think I'd be interested anyway at a course like this. He's a long course guy. Can't say I'm thrilled about him hitting a million wedges either. Yeah. All right, people. Top of the board. Scotty. Maybe some Cantlay. Maybe JT. No, definitely JT. Definitely some Sepp. A little bit of Henley, a little bit of Bradley, and then Clanton, Bhatia, Ben Griffin, Tom Kim, Ryan Fox, Tom Hoagie, Ryan Gerard, all these kind of names down here that we're looking to go to in the DFS world. All right. Awesome stuff, people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Tell me who's going to finish DFL if you find the right name. 3 months in the Model Maniac Patreon. Use code TRAV50 for 50% off at the Model Maniac Patreon. Link in the description below. Shout out to James P for winning the contest today. See you in the Discord /Patreon. And yes, that's going to be it from me today. I'll see you in half an hour on Spencer's show and Joel's show, The Draft King of the Draft. Catch you guys later. Peace out.